So feel free to write me a question and I will check back. All right, here we go. So you're here in the masterclass, how to radically reduce your neck and back pain, the 3 strategies that work when nothing else does. You took the time to register, you took the time to be here. So please, let's focus. I know we're all women, we're probably moms, we like multitasking, but try to stay present and pay attention for this next 45 minutes. Leave your device, if possible, in another room, or just turn it down, close all the other tabs. You know, you really want to be here and get the most out of this workshop. My promise to you is that after today, after this masterclass, you will start to shift away from feeling stuck and defined by your pain to gaining clarity on how to start moving with ease, live freely, and enjoy life in the healthiest version of yourself. Does that sound good? Let me know. And specifically, you're going to figure out or discover why what you've been doing for years to relieve tension, aches, and pains doesn't work. And instead, I'm going to walk you through what does. Imagine you being able to skip over all the Googling and the YouTube videos, the trial and error, and actually just focus and do what works. I know when I learned the steps and methods that I'm about to share, it changed my life, and it also changed a lot of the lives of my female clients, and I know it can help you too. Type yes in the chat if that sounds good to you. Let me know. Okay, can you relate to this? Can you relate to any of these points here? Yes, Jackie, thank you for participating. It's good to know that people can hear me, and you've got it down to everyone. Perfect. So now everyone can see your comment. Great. Okay, so can you ladies relate to this? Are you tired of going to appointments weekly or bi-weekly? Maybe it's chiro, physio, massage, acupuncture, only to get temporary relief. Are you perhaps fed up with appointments with your family doctor and being prescribed more pain medication, anti-inflammatories, or just not being taken seriously? Oh, you're a woman in your 40s and 50s. It's probably just hormonal, like deal with it. Or just sort of like, oh, you're just aging. Do you keep Googling back pain relief exercises or neck tension relief just to find yourself lost in thousands of videos and images and instructions? Maybe you can relate to feeling tired and not being able to show up the way you want as a mom or as a spouse or as a friend or as a daughter, whatever your hats may be. I know many of us wear many hats, and you can't run around with your kids the way you want, or you can't get up and down on the ground with your toddler. Or maybe it's hard to continue coaching for your kids' hockey team or baseball team or soccer team. Maybe you feel like, well, the pain isn't that bad. But then whenever you try to do something, an activity like gardening on the weekend, or you decide to play a friendly game of soccer with some other moms and kids in the neighborhood, and you end up paying for it all week long. Or maybe you feel like you've tried everything and chalking it up to this is what getting old feels like. But then you realize there's so much more life to live, and you know something has to change. Let me know if any of those bullet points resonated with you. Maybe more than one of them, maybe all of them. Let me know in the chat. And let me know too, if you're watching the replay, which one you really relate to. So I'm here to tell you that it is not your fault, okay? I promise you that if you're nodding your head in agreement with any of those bullet points, I promise I'm not a stalker that's looking at you and seeing it. It's because I've heard this over and over again with a lot of my clients. And I promise that whatever it is that you're doing and it's not working, it's not your fault. It's really hard to know who is right, who to trust. And there's so much information out there. It just can get really overwhelming. And if you're like anything, or you feel like how a lot of my clients feel, they would have done anything to get rid of their pain, but nothing seemed to work. Let's paint a picture together. So here's the dream that I hear a lot, and something that might resonate with you is that you'll wake up every day feeling free from tension, aches, and pains. No more waking up feeling old, stiff, and sore, feeling like you're 80 when you're only 40. No more relying on medications. And you'll be able to perform activities of daily living, like going for a walk, going for a run, going for errands at the store without leaning on the grocery cart, playing sports with your kids, and without feeling fearful that you'll throw something out or tweak something. Whoops. Another couple bullets about the dream. Maybe you'll feel like you'll be able to do whatever you want with your kids to keep up with them, maybe even grandkids. You'll wake up ready for your day, energetic and limber, and you'll finally feel free, confident in your body and your abilities. Tell me in the comments which of those scenarios feels like your dream. Which one best describes why you showed up here today? Which of these, or maybe there's more than one, is something that you like, yes, I really want that. Let me know in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, you can still let me know. It'll help guide our time and clarity together. So before I go any further, let me introduce myself. I'm Tatiana. I'm a physiotherapist and a mindfulness coach and a yoga instructor. And I am the founder of TG Physiotherapy and the Move with Ease method. I support women to overcome the traditional stereotypes of aches and pains of aging. Stereotypes, right? We don't have to age with aches and pains. It's just very common that it's happening. And help them establish a deep mind-body connection so that they can enjoy life and live it freely, move with ease, and then just enjoy the second half of life. There's so much time left. There's so much that life has to offer us. I myself am a mom of 3 young kids, so I get it. I get busy schedules. I get working, all the hats. I have over 12 years of experience as a physio, over 10 as mindfulness and yoga coach. And I'm just really passionate about this stuff. And I live and breathe this stuff. And I just want to spread it because I feel like throughout my years in clinic and in practice, I've just seen so many female clients in particular. I treat men too, but my big passion lies in helping females, busy working moms who feel lost, stiff and sore, and just older than she really should, because I know that we can do something about it. I know there's a choice there. I'll just back up a little bit and tell you what I was like before. Clearly, this is me several years ago. That's my first child, so she's now 11, so you do the math. And I was a new mom, new physio, and I have to admit I was a little bit naive and inexperienced. I focused a lot on, my client's physical pain and treated it from a lens of biomechanics and anatomy, muscle, tendon, ligament, bone, ergonomics. You get the picture. So back then, my clients were getting the results, but not 100%. They would often come back with similar or like issues that were like repeating. They would come back and they'd see me alongside other therapists, maybe their chiro, maybe massage, acupuncture, osteo, you name it. And then kind of hit a wall in terms of where they would progress or how sustainable the results or complete the results would be. After I became a mom, I dove deeper into my own yoga practice and I completed my yoga teacher training. And I was teaching yoga regularly in the community too, and incorporating it with my clients. So even that is a bit of an evolution, right? But still, I was using it more for the physical aspects of yoga and not really tapping into the mindfulness yet. Like that came in my later years as in my clinical practice, but at first just using it for its, really beneficial stretching, strengthening components of yoga. And then as I moved from becoming a mom of one to a mom of two, and then a mom of three, I just noticed, I was transforming and changing my body, my mind, and my mental load, and what I could and couldn't handle. And it really, as I evolved in my own body, it also helped in my professional practice and evolved my practice with my clients. I just noticed this pattern. Many repeat clients were women, particularly working moms, busy, feeling stuck in their bodies, disconnected to their muscles, unaware of their deep inner core muscles, not even aware of their posture, how their posture was affecting their neck and tension, their upper back, their breath, and then even their mindset. Life can be very busy, right? And we're always kind of doing, going, multitasking, juggling kids, work, activities, laundry, groceries. I could go on and on. There just didn't seem like there was enough time in the day to take into account our own health, right? And our own health then takes the toll. I'll just tell you a story quickly. I remember when I was in North Bay, I used to live in North Bay, and I was teaching a fusion class, a yoga class with yoga and then a high intensity interval training. And with 5 minutes left at the end of class, just 5 minutes left, I was like, okay, everybody lie down for Shavasana. If you don't know what Shavasana is, it's just the last few moments of yoga where you get to literally just lie on your mat and breathe and kind of let your body absorb the practice, let your mind kind of stay present with your body. It's really important. It's arguably the most important pose. And at this one class, a friend of mine at the time, actually, she was a busy mom of two. I could hear her jump up from her mat and she started spraying it and wiping it down. And I ran over to, I was the instructor. I ran over to her and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't have time for this. I got to get groceries. I got to do this. She started telling me her to-do list, and she scurried out that yoga studio door. And it was literally she couldn't control herself. In her mind, she was like, okay, I did my yoga. I stretched a bit. I did my HIIT training. I did my workout, got my bang for my buck. Now I got to go get stuff done. And lying down for those 5 minutes of class was no, my time's not being efficiently used. And it would have made her feel guilty and all the things, right? So if I'm being totally honest, I used to be like that too. And yeah, does anybody resonate with that? Does it feel like slowing down is a very hard thing to do? Sitting in silence, being quiet, just breathing. Does that feel, tell me in the comments, does that feel like something that's familiar to you? I'm sure she wasn't the only one who felt like she was doing no harm by doing that. Let me know in the chat. Hi, Margaret. I see that you've arrived as well. Thank you for coming live. Jackie says, my mind races and it is hard to breathe. Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. I just want to say too, the more you guys share and engage, the more you'll get out of this too. And absolutely, our minds are built to scan, right? This is a survival thing. We are built to scan for threats in our environment and run away from it. But the thing is, our threats these days are not usually they're not physically dangerous. So we're not getting that down. We're not running away from a bear, or we're not running away from Because we have homes and shelter, right? Like we're not looking for that cave to like get shelter and safety from. So our minds are still working like that. We haven't evolved to that yet, but our minds are still doing that survival thing. And if you're constantly in that, think of all the stress, adrenaline, cortisol. So that's where things like a 5-minute just lie down and breathe, shavasana, can feel so difficult, but it's so needed. And that's where like it's kind of a hard sell, if you will, because it's hard to like quiet the mind, but it's not about quieting it. Meditation and mindfulness isn't about, drawing a blank and having a clear mind. It's actually about practicing to find that even breath and like refocus to, okay, I'm just going to be present. I'm purposely being present here in this moment. And if you find it hard to breathe, Jackie, I invite you to put pressure on your chest and belly or have a weighted blanket. Sometimes that input, or lie on your tummy, because sometimes the input, like a bit of pressure here, can calm us. Anyway, we'll talk more about that maybe in another workshop. You just gave me a workshop idea. So I think I already talked about it, but my own journey has kind of my body journey has paralleled like my clinical practice journey, right? So I started as a very anatomical physical therapist brain, because that's how like I graduated from school, and then got my body changed with pregnancy. I couldn't run as much as I wanted to, so then I found yoga. Then through finding yoga, I did my yoga teacher training, and then 2-3 kids later, body changing, mind changing, and just really starting to understand that we have to look at people as a whole picture: mental, physical, emotional, even the spiritual lens. Spiritual doesn't mean religion, but spirit is in like your deep values and your why, and like what drives someone to want to evolve or be the best they can be, like that kind of universal connection. I'm not talking about a religion. Okay, so really diving in, being open and vulnerable, and investing in myself for personal growth, professional growth, development, and health. So it takes a lot of commitment and an open mind and open heart and a willingness to be curious and kind to oneself. And this is more than just a band-aid fix of, getting massage or taking pain medication. I'm not saying those things don't do them, but we have to complement it somehow. And this is how we address the root cause. I haven't even mentioned the benefits that you'll get through mindful movement, like better sleep, circulation, lymphatic drainage, improved balance, focus, and proprioception. But, my journey, it really did truly start as a physio. And then as I grew and evolved and became experienced with my own body and the changes of the female body, and it really did bring me to this moment here to share it with you, so that you can skip over all the trial and error and the struggle that many women do go through, and finally get rid of feeling that old, stiff, and sore, achy pain, and start to live your life so freely and start moving with ease. I'm so grateful that I did make the investment to, do my yoga teacher training, do my mindfulness coaching, and like spend the time and energy to read lots of books and trial and error things in my own body. And I still continue to learn and grow as a mom, as a health coach, as a yoga teacher, and as a physio. Like Oprah says, when you know better, you do better. So again, and I touched on this already, but in a busy world of doing, and going, it was kind of hard to like pull things back, slow things down. And with my clients, really kind of guide them on basics: breath, how to breathe properly, how to sit with some discomfort. How do you sit in a posture that's not comfortable, but you back off from pain, but how do you sit with a bit of discomfort? How do you progress from there, right? How do we be with pain and discomfort? How do we breathe through it? And how do we really create that deep mind-body connection? This isn't like a Band-Aid fix. So it does take work, but little bite-sized consistent pieces over time, this is where true healing can happen. So the big discovery for me as a therapist, coach, physiotherapist, yoga teacher was lockdown. Okay. I know it's old news now, March 2020, COVID, blah, 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 right? But everything was shut down. And, I was pretty quiet for a week or two, but then my clients started reaching out and new clients started reaching out too, because COVID didn't take away their pain and they couldn't see their massage therapist. They couldn't get into their, acupuncturist or their chiropractor or their physio. And what could they do? I could offer them guided mindful movement online. And this is what's so cool. My clients were empowered and floored that they were healing, and it felt like they were healing themselves, right? Because, they were a big part of the healing because they were the ones moving their body. They were the ones doing the work. I'm just guiding because I have the knowledge, right? But it was just so neat. And I think they got better faster because they weren't seeing me in person. Because when you go to a therapist in person, you sometimes expect a bit of hands-on or for example, okay, I have someone in the group, Caroline, I think she's in the UK. She actually has a question. This is a good time to answer that question. She said, I have tight muscles and tendons in my upper back radiating into my neck. The nerve pain sometimes radiates into my facial muscles. Ouch, Caroline, I'm so sorry that's happening. That must be so painful. She says she's doing deep tissue work. Sounds like deep tissue massage to get the knots out. Wondering what can I do for myself? I love this question because, Caroline, you're taking it into your own hands. We can get massages, we can get physio, we can get all those kinds of therapies. It does feel good and it does sometimes give us that little boost. But at the end of the day, it's our body and what we do with our mind, creating that mind-body connection. And then how do we listen to our bodies and move in a way that's maybe challenging and a little bit uncomfortable, but not pushing so hard that it's painful and then we take steps back. So it's just finding that fine line. And that's where mindful movement is so powerful, because when you really tune in and hone in and listen to your body and your breath, you can really learn a lot about yourself and your muscles and your bones and your joints. And you can really identify where you can push yourself and grow from there and get stronger, more flexible, more balanced, and where you're oh, I need to pull back a bit. So that's what was really cool about March 2020 for me. I'm going to just take a little pause and tell you about a client of mine. Her name is Robin, and she, one second here. Yeah. So Robin went through the Move with Ease method, and she experienced freedom in her life in many ways because of it. So she was able to advance her workouts at the gym. She was someone who always, is pretty active, but she would always hit a ceiling at the gym after a certain amount of weightlifting or a certain timing of planks. This is a huge one for her, especially side planks. She just felt like she would always hit a wall, hit a ceiling. So, and then that ceiling or wall was a threat that her back would go out. So after the Move with Ease method, she could move past it. She could do planks for longer. She was able to lift more weights at the gym, and she didn't feel held back by her own body, which is super cool. Second, she felt less irritable at work and with her family. And in general, because her pain was much less and infrequent and it didn't flare up anymore, it just was so much more manageable and not as intense. So she could really focus on the things she loved to do. And third, she felt like she could enjoy her walk runs with her sister. So her sister is not in the same city as her, but they're very close. They both pop in AirPods and they go for a walk 3 times a week, walk, run, and they chat and they catch up. And she felt like since doing the Move with Ease method, she wasn't as distracted by her aches and pains and could really just be an active listener and truly enjoy her walk runs and catch up with her sister. That's pretty cool. So imagine you with decreased frequency and intensity of back or neck or whatever pain you might have. Imagine waking up feeling ready for your day, energetic and excited, and being able to participate in all the activities you want to and all the joys that life has to offer, and being able to ignite your health and feel confident, free, and independent in your body. Tell me in the comments, type me or just let me know if you'd love to achieve something like that, you know, without having to go to numerous medical appointments or keep taking pain meds or being wary of, you know, ooh, I don't know if I can participate in that, or I don't know if I can do that, or I'm scared next week that means my back, you know, I'm going to have to rest all week because I did that one activity. Let me know in the chat. Hi, Karen. I see you've jumped on too. Let me know where you're watching from. Margaret, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know. Okay. And if you don't know, guys, I know some of you just jumped on. You just hover your mouse over the bottom and there's a little chat bubble. Click on it, click the drop-down menu so it says everyone. Hi, Karen. So Karen, you wrote hi. I can see it, but not everyone. Click the arrow and make sure the blue thing says everyone. That way everyone can see your question if you have one and your comments. All right. So let's move on to the core concepts. Again, you got it. Good. So the real reason why you are waking up old, stiff, and sore. Here's our core concept number one. You might be likely relying on passive therapies such as physio, chiro, massage, or acupuncture. Okay? Temporary relief is good to help you get some temporary relief, but it doesn't address the root cause of your pain, which is so much more than just a stiff joint needing an adjustment or a stiff muscle that needs the knot worked out. It feels good in the moment, but honestly, it's just temporary relief. Okay. And I'm not saying you can't go do those things. I'm just saying it's not going to be a complete sustainable health. Like if you're looking to be being able to move with ease and live with confidence and do all the things you love, that you can't only do temporary passive therapies. Pain meds, relying on pain meds like Robaxacet, naproxen, Tylenol, anti-inflammatories, all that. It's not sustainable long-term, okay? Anti-inflammatories, I know a lot of medical practitioners prescribe it, but they're tough in the tummy. It's pharmaceuticals. Like we don't want that in our system for prolonged periods of time, okay? Yeah, and there's lots of negative side effects too. Topical rubs, back braces, TENS machines, massagers, other gadgets. Again, it's temporary relief. It's not getting at the root cause. YouTube and Google. Honestly, Dr. Google does have all the answers. I say this quite a bit. It's just that it's hard if you're not in this, even if you are in this industry, like it's still nice to have it guided, right? Like, the answers are all there on the internet. They really are. It's just how are you going to sift through the noise? Like we all are busy enough, right? And you do need a balance between stretch and strength. So which one is it that you need? Core exercises. Is it outer core or inner core? Do you need to start with breath work? Because if you don't have proper breath, you can't even access your inner core. And then are you going to, if you had time to actually compile a program, a protocol, are you going to follow through? Right. So yes, Dr. Google and YouTube has all the answers, but it's there's just such a plethora of info. It can be very confusing to sort through it all. So the root cause, core concept number 1, is structural disconnection. Okay, so that's the opposite of mind-body connection. So lacking movement in all joints of your spine. If you think about your spine, it's one bone on top of the next one. We have 24 bones. There's joints on left and right sides, bottom and top. So that's more than 50 joints in your back. Think of when you sit in a car for too long and you get out and it feels like your knee or your hip is stiff. That's only one joint. Your back has more than 50 joints, okay? So if you lack movement in all directions in your spine, you're going to have structural disconnection there, okay? Lack of mind-body awareness, mind-body connection. You will be shocked how many clients I see and I ask them to go in different positions, like just from standing upright to going on all fours, like putting your hands and knees on the ground. Actually, this would be a fun little homework for you guys who are watching. And you find neutral spine on all fours. So like neutral spine in sitting is like someone looking at you from the profile. You kind of have this S shape. Can you do that, but now you're on all fours? Most people don't know where their spine is in space, and they have to relearn that. Lack of inner core awareness. What is an inner core even? So many women don't even know they have an inner core, and it's so important. I'm not talking about the 6-pack. I'm talking about like 4 layers deep. Lots of muscles in there that are our foundation that we have to build, okay? Improper breath and posture, I already talked about, right? So important to have full functional breath and great posture to help alleviate tension and pain. And lots of muscle imbalances, which all contribute to structural disconnection. Core concept number 2 is faulty beliefs about the spine and our health in general. Sorry, one second, I lost my slide notes. I'll be right there. So some people feel that there isn't enough time to spend hours at the gym. And I need to get my pain under control first anyways before I can start being active. That's a very big common misconception. In fact, the whole RICE protocol, rest, ice, compress, elevate, it's a bit old school and it really has been debunked in the literature, okay? Unless you have a broken bone or a really severe acute injury where you're like crazy bruised and inflamed, movement's always going to win. But how would you know that, right? Like even if you just Googled this stuff, it's still going to say rice. So unless it's not your fault is what I'm saying. It's an old school way of thinking. And I even still get clients who come in with like ankle sprains. They're in like crazy air casts, crutches. That's fine. It's safe. But then, you know, the Emerge team has just told them to like not move it for 2 weeks. And it's like, whoa, no. You got to move it or you're going to have a slew of other issues. Okay. So it's not your fault. It's just an old school way of thinking that does keep people stuck in their aches and pains. Okay. So mindful movement here is really key. And you don't need hours at the gym. I can show you how you can stick to a plan of moving without sweating for hours at the gym. You can work it into your day. Some people think I was told I have back pain, so I can't do yoga. People with back pain shouldn't do yoga. I assure you, everyone can do yoga, even if you are really limited in mobility. I can show you how to effectively and safely practice yoga or mindful movement, let's call it, so that it becomes a pivotal part of your daily routine to keep your back and neck pain at bay. The only way to get rid of my pain is to take over-the-counter or prescription meds. There is a way to get rid of your pain without meds. There really is. And it's through mindful movement, but it does take work. There's no quick fix. I'll be very honest, but this is your health and your body, right? You got one body. It feels wrong for me to spend money on myself and time when I should be focusing on my kids or my family. And yeah, I get that. I'm a busy mom too. I get that. But prioritizing yourself and your health is important so that you can be there for your kids, not just now, but also in the long run. And you're showing them that loving yourself and loving your body and putting time in for your health is an important thing. And I think that's a great example. It's too hard to stick to the plan because I travel or I'm too busy. And life in general is too busy right now for me to fit this in. I can show you exactly how to get the results you want, even if you have a full schedule. I've put that into consideration. I know most moms are very busy and don't have time to carve out hours at the gym or at a yoga studio. I know this. Everyone in my family has struggled with back joint pain, arthritis, something like that. So I'm going to have pain too. It's in my genetics. Just because it runs in your family doesn't mean you can't change that. I can promise you that. And isn't it normal just to have aches and pains when we get older? It's not normal, but it's common. Okay. We definitely have this idea that aging equals pain. And it's true, especially after the magical age of about 37, particularly over 40. We just have to be just so much more purposeful and diligent with our bodies. We can't spring back like we did in our 20s. We can't just randomly do something like we did in our 30s, maybe pay for it for a day and then be fine. But our minds and bodies are very powerful. And if you want to, you can achieve it. It does take purposeful, mindful movement though. And an intention, like setting intention to be healthy and want that for your mind and body. I want to share a story here about Nikki. And I'll read her story from her. She sent this to me with her words. So I'm a mother of 2 energetic kids. So I'm speaking from Nikki's point of view. And my husband and I have the privilege of coaching some of their teams. I used to be a high-level hockey player, but over the past 20 plus years, my old knee injury and multiple ACL surgeries have continued to affect me. It's been a constant struggle because my body feels much older than it should. I often find myself frustrated during activities as my mind believes I can do something, but my body doesn't always cooperate. Compensating for my injured left knee for such a long time has resulted in stiffness in my back, a significant imbalance in my hips, and overall tightness in my body. As a teacher, I'm constantly on the move at school, but I wasn't mindful of my actions, which only worsened my imbalances, like unconsciously leading with my right leg when going up and down the stairs at the school. It wasn't until I started working with Tatiana that I became aware of these compensations. Tatiana has helped me reestablish a connection with my left leg, relearn how to move my body, and transform my mindset from one of pain and fear to confidence, strength, and reduced discomfort through all the convenience of virtual appointments. Thanks to our work together, I've been able to return to CrossFit, and I'm playing team sports such as ball hockey, including being able to play goalie. And I can coach without limping or feeling the need to take a seat. Tatiana has equipped me with not only the physical tools, but also the mental tools to overcome old patterns and patterns that no longer served me. I've developed a newfound love for non-competitive movement and continue to learn how to be patient with my body. So what she's saying is mindful movement, right? She's someone who loves sport, and to support her in continuing sport, we needed mindful movement. I'm grateful that I embarked on this journey because now I experience significantly less pain. As a result, I can show up fully as a teacher, mother, and coach in the way I've always wanted. I can participate in sports without fear or feeling like I'm not giving it my all. I wholeheartedly recommend the Move with Ease method to all my friends and colleagues who aspire to be active and healthy, but are struggling with pain or limitations, or just people who want to be proactive, preventative health. She is truly a game changer. Thank you, Nikki, for that awesome story. Let me know in the chat if you resonate at all with Nikki's story. Maybe you used to be in your teenage years, in your early 20s, maybe even into your 30s, you were very athletic. I know I see this a lot, like clients saying, I used to be able to do this, or I used to do that. And then after some time, we hit 40s, kids are busy, we start to feel things like are not performing the way they used to. But Nikki's story, she's been through a lot, shows us that we can regain it. And it's not getting our body back, but it's getting a new way, a new mind-body connection, and being able to work with that. Let me know in the chat if any of that resonated with you. I also know, like, some of my clients were former gymnasts or dancers, and like, I used to be so flexible, and now whatever reason, right? So it really can be, I really think that a lot of us resonate with Nikki's story. All right. Does anybody have any questions? I'll just pause here and just check in with you guys. Sounds like everyone's good. Okay, I'll check again. If you have a question, don't hesitate. Oh, Karen wrote, prioritizing kids' activities and interests before our own, including movement. Yeah. And, we have to prioritize our kids. That's why we had kids. But I think part of prioritizing our kids is prioritizing us, because we want to be there for them for the longevity and for the quality, right? Like we want to be there for them and show up the way we want to physically be able to be there for them mentally. And then one day, hopefully be able to be there for them as a grandma and help with the grandkids. Like, I think it's like reframing that, like, okay, prioritizing myself. And it doesn't mean ignoring your children or like not watching any of their dance or soccer games or whatever, but just a little bit of that time is for us. And that's okay. I think there's so much mom guilt that we feel, and we have to, I think, explaining that to ourselves and explaining that to the kids, like, mommy needs to do this for me so I can be healthy and strong for you. Like, I think that's where we need to shift. Thank you, Karen, for that. I'll quickly tell you about Vera. So Vera was also a client. She was in the Move with Ease method back in spring. She's 73 or 75, I can't remember, but she was so sweet. When she signed up for the program, she said, are you accepting grandmas? And I said, of course, as long as you are willing to, be open and do the work, I would love for you to be in it. And she did great. And history of a little bit of aches and pains in her backs and hips, but pretty, active woman, very open to mindful movement and yoga postures. And she was looking her goal was to have good quality of life for as long as possible and be able to support her children in helping be a hands-on grandma. She has 5 grandchildren, and traveling and doing fun activities. And here's what she said in week 3. So the program is 12 weeks long. She wrote me this in week 3. Arrived in Kincardine, small town on Lake Huron, last evening to spend a week with my son and family. Started the day showing your XYZ spine to my granddaughter. She's 9. She then showed me 10 yoga postures she learned at school this week. We then went for a 2-hour hike with my son and his Bernese mountain dog, that picture there. Remarkably, I'm not even tired. I credit my new Move with Ease routine. Thank you. Isn't that cool? Like, I was like, yeah, that email that she sent me was just, I was so happy for her, and it totally made my day. All right. So it brings us to core concept number 3, which is the discovery that changed everything for my clients and myself. Structural connection, mind-body connection, relearning those deep foundational inner core muscles, understanding our spine and why we need to move in 3D. Mindfulness. Can't only have physical, we got to have the mental. Can't only have mental, we need to have the physical. So mindful movement. Addressing the physical cause of pain doesn't 100% solve the problem. We have to dig. What are we working with? Are there emotional blocks? Are there mental blocks? Okay. Easy to follow mindful movement guided practice. And this is a huge one: accountability, community, and mentorship. Okay. We tend not to be accountable to ourselves. I don't know why. It's just the thing. If you've joined a group fitness class, you're more likely to show up. If you were to say, I'm going to work out every day, you're probably not going to work out every day, right? It's just one of those things. Community, having like-minded individuals. For us, it's women, busy working moms, probably. It's nice to have a sense of community so you don't feel alone. And then mentorship, that's me. That's where I come in. Someone that you can ask questions to, and, just that reassurance that, okay, like, even though I have this soreness or my shoulder range of motion is like this, but I'm okay to do that. Okay. Like, it's just really nice to have that guidance. Again, like I said, Dr. Google, YouTube, all the answers are there, but it's hard to know which order and how. When you have questions, who do you ask, right? My last case study I'll show you or tell you about is my friend Nicole, actually. And this is really neat because she is also a physiotherapist. So I'll just read what she wrote. Tatiana and I go way back when we met during our master's in physical therapy at Queen's University back in 2008. Even as an educated physiotherapy myself with a PhD, and now I'm an assistant professor in kinesiology, a mom of 2 young children, I find myself struggling with aches and pains as my body ages. I tell you all my education not to show off, but to demonstrate that even though I have the knowledge and the education, I still struggled. Just a few months ago, okay, so she wrote this like back in the spring. Just a few months ago, my 4-year-old asked me to race her to the car. As we started running, I couldn't believe how awkward and out of body I felt. Another time, I was goofing around with my 2 kids in the yard, and I rolled my ankle on the ice. It wasn't injured, but I felt it. Fast forward a week later, I stood up from my desk at home while I was working on a lecture, and I sprained my ankle. It goes to show that even though I know all the things, it still happens to me. I'm realizing now that I need to get my body into a healthy state so that I can get down and up, play with my kids, and I want to be able to keep up with them. I want to feel confident and good when I race my daughter next time in the parking lot. I want to feel strong and deeply connected to my body again. I want my posture not to be a question mark. This is a big running joke with Nicole, is that she always feels like she's a question mark. She's at her computer so much. Being a busy working mom compounded with the sedentary work life that has happened with the pandemic, I have really started noticing the negative effects on my body. Working with Tatiana inside the Move with Ease method meant I had some key supports that helped me succeed: community, accountability, straightforward action tasks and steps so that I don't have to think. I have enough on my mental load with work, kids, and life. Mentorship and coaching. I could ask her questions anytime and have her modify any of the movements or exercises to meet my needs. Okay, so that's Nicole there, and I'm pleased to say she's doing really well. Of course, it's fall, busy with lectures, but she's still feeling less stiff. She's still following the videos in the program to make sure she's taking all those frequent work breaks. And, she really loved the community with other women because we did get to chat, bounce ideas off each other, collaborating, connection. Human beings, we all crave connection, especially when we all have this shared goal. It's the power of the pack. It's just better when we do it together. So super happy about Nicole and how she was able to succeed in the program and continue the success into now, because she graduated back in June. All right, let's quickly review the core concepts. I know the time is coming to an end soon. The real reason you're waking up with aches and pains is likely lack of mind-body connection, meaning you're structurally disconnected. Core concept number 2 was feeling like you need to get rid of pain first before you can start movement, before you can start. That's just, we have to start to alleviate the pain, okay? And then core concept number 3 is the 5 elements that really are the key to success. Root cause, addressing root cause, having a solid, proven plan, addressing the inner core and spine, support and mentorship, right? And accountability and community. Those are the 5 elements that will help with true sustainable success in this health journey. So let's go over why you showed up today. You wanted to stop waking up achy, stiff, and sore. You want to live free of pain. You want to wake up feeling confident and free to move with ease in your body. And you'd love to move into, or maybe you're already in your second half of life, in the healthiest version of yourself possible, and just be able to enjoy life and all of the activities that you love. And my promise to you was to kind of guide you on how to start to shift away from feeling stuck in your pain and start to work towards those goals of being free, confident, and moving with ease, and not waking up feeling 80 and old, stiff, and sore. Okay, you have a choice. We always have a choice. I always say this. Okay, so the first choice is A, path A. Can keep Googling, can keep taking meds if you are, can keep doing the passive therapies, which are Band-Aid solutions, continue to be stuck and defined by your pain, and really continuing to invest in short-term relief, but not really get any return in your future self. Path B is to jump in and try, okay? Move with ease method. My 12-week program, you get accountability, sustainability, growth, personal and physical, emotional, mental, and really truly investing in your health in a way that will pay you back 1,000 times in your future. So here's how I can help you. I offer a free call called the Move with Ease Assessment, okay? Because not everyone is a fit to work together. So I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for you. You want to make sure that you're a good fit for me. And this will help us gain clarity on where you're at, what you can achieve, and if the program is right for you. Okay, so I will leave you a link in the chat. Actually, I'll just leave my email in the chat after, and then you can email me and I'll help you book a time, because my schedule is a little bit crazy right now. I don't think my scheduler has any slots open. So we'll just skip that slide. So what will happen on the call? We are going to go through your specific goal and why you want it. What are possible obstacles or challenges that might derail your success, and how would we handle it? And identify any self-sabotage that may be happening. And I promise there's no catch. This is free. My goal, my passion really is to help women transform their lives in the healthiest way possible and sustainably, right? And no matter what, even if we end up working together or not, you'll gain clarity, you'll get some value and insight. And, you know, I will always tell it how it is. There's no magic pill, there's no quick fix. And we do have a choice. We can live more freely. We can alleviate those aches and pains, but there's some work involved. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you so that it doesn't feel so daunting or so overwhelming. And baby steps, little bit every day. That's what's going to work. It's like $1 in the bank every day. It's not all or nothing. The call is not for you if you're looking for a quick fix, if you're not really open-minded or have an open heart. If you're impatient or you continue to blame yourself or events of the past for your aches and pains, you have to trust that you can move forward. I can help you with that. And the call is for you if you're ready to stop all the things you're doing that don't work and focus on what does work, on the proven system. And if you're done with short-term results and know that the road to long-term success might be windy, it's not straight, but you're committed. You recognize that your health is in an investment, right? Both financially and time-wise. And you're coachable and you ask for support and accountability. So, yeah. Do we have any Q&A, any questions? I'll just type my email in here. You can also reach out to me in the group, the Redefining Aches and Aging for Women's group. If you're not in my private Facebook group, I invite you to join it. I post a lot of free resources there. For example, Caroline, I know you're not here. You want to watch the replay, I believe. And you asked me about how to relieve tension in your upper neck and back. I think the best place to start would be with the Breath 101 workshop. Having awareness when you're tensing will actually help you start to relieve some of that tension. It's a really great place to start. The Breath 101 workshop. There's also a shoulders and neck workshop. Again, Caroline, I know you're watching the replay, so if you have any questions, reach out to me later. For those who are here live, if you have any questions, I'm going to stay for another 2-3 minutes, and then I have to go. But please type in the chat. I'm here for you. If you have any questions, if you want to book a call, just send me an email, Tatiana@tgphysiotherapy.ca. Tatiana has 2 N's, Tatianna. I will reply and we can try to schedule a time for us to chat. Yeah. So before I leave you, I will, tell you a quote that I really love. So around Christmas time, I went to a concert. Huxley Worksman, he's a local artist here in Ontario, and he's like kind of 40 plus as well. And he said before he sang a song, in the first half of life, you feel like you have an endless runway. You're like invincible. When you're in your 20s and you're just like doing your thing, you're just like, you could do whatever you want and life is forever. Okay, it feels that way anyway. Then we hit our 40s, and in the second half of life, you realize you have a shorter runway. But it's also a second chance at life. And you realize there's a limit to your time here. And you want to live life to its fullest, making each day matter. And yeah, when he said that, I was like, wow, really resonate with that. And just wanted to close out today's masterclass with Huxley's quote. And you're welcome, Karen. Karen just wrote, thank you. I hope that this was helpful. And if you're not in the group yet, please join the group. Redefining Aches and Aging for Women. Lots of great nuggets of resources there. I also interview other practitioners that are in this health and wellness realm. Hi, Margaret. You're welcome. Thank you for coming live. Before you guys go, I am actually doing a live Q&A on Wednesday with a former colleague of mine. She is a sports therapist, also a busy mom of 3, and she's got some cool info about healthy, fit aging. So again, I just love collaborating with other women and helping spread this just spread this passion of healthy aging, because I know there's a choice there and we can do it. And yeah, just excited to talk to Corey. Her name's Corey. So that's Wednesday at 2:00. If you can come, let me know. I'll be posting the registration link in the group as well. Okay, so happy that you guys came. Thank you very much for your time. I know time is precious, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye for now.